Okay, people, so now it's like March 2nd, 2019. What I've done here, people, is I've gone into ShaMay's old Snapchat, and I've zoomed in. I zoomed in on her eyes, okay? I put the Snapchat, and then I zoomed in on the eyes in the Snapchat itself, and then I took a bunch of pictures. This is what you're going to see. I froze the frame, right? Held it for, 5 seconds or whatever it is. And, I added in like a series. And what you need to look at is, because you have to remember, people, she was accused of being a closet addict that was doing drugs with everybody in the house right after she was looking after her baby. As a matter of fact, probably when she was looking after her baby. Okay, that's what these healthcare professionals and this government union sector like to put on people that die from fentanyl. Right? It's either a suicide because they were depressed with their life and they just wanted to kill themselves, or it was an accident because they should have known better and should have ran down the hall and let everybody know that they were doing drugs with the Narcan kit right next to them, because that's how serious it is out there in the real world with addicts. Right? And ShaMay should have known better. Well, anyway, if you're up doing drugs all night, killing yourself, because you're depressed, even though you're going to college in 12 days and you've got a bright future ahead of you, your eyes would be bloodshot. It was bad enough that she was up all night, people, looking after the baby. She didn't leave here until about 1:30 or so in the morning. I said, ShaMay, I got to get some sleep. But for some reason, I woke up at like 6 o'clock in the morning or whatever it was, because I ended up going to sleep I just lay down on the couch and I passed right out. And then I woke up because I was on the couch. And this was after I sent ShaMay down at about 1:30 or so, because she was with me, right? I should have, you know what, people? No matter what I should have done, it wouldn't have mattered, because if somebody's intent on harming you, if they can't get you tomorrow, I'm sorry, today, they'll get you tomorrow. Because I feel so bad for sending ShaMay downstairs to her death. I did not know that within less than 12 hours, my daughter would be dead. Okay? When I sent her down at 1:30 in the morning. To be called down at 10 o'clock in the morning and find my daughter dead. But not be told by the paramedics and the police and whoever else came to my house, fire department or whoever it was. They did not tell me that my daughter had died. It took a while to figure that out with the timeline. And the fact that she had urinated at 9 o'clock under that timeline. So this video chat was made soon after 8 o'clock because Tisha got home at 7. I heard ShaMay singing to the baby at about 6:30 or whatever it was in Tisha's room. Because I was converting over a video. Because I got up after sleeping on the couch for a bit and did a video talking about the little house. I heard my son go to work. My son usually goes to work anywhere between 5:30 and 6 or so, in around that time. And then I went and I converted the video over and I heard ShaMay singing to the baby in Tisha's room. And as that video was converting, I was going in and out, and then Tisha got home. And then I heard the girls talking. And from Tisha's timeline, they were talking for about an hour. And at the end of that hour, Tisha went into the kitchen, had a smoke, and then started looking after the baby, and ShaMay went into the living room. And remember, they're in Tisha's room, people. While the person who injured her is sleeping, supposedly, in ShaMay's bed. And let's not forget, somebody called ShaMay at 10 after 6 in the morning. Because, not on this Snapchat, not on this video, although maybe I'll put those two little videos, that one there, I'll put the one there with or the two with her at around 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay? I haven't done her eyes with that one yet. And clearly the phone kicked out the Snapchat at 10 after 6 in the morning. Because she has it listed at what time it is. So that dude showed up after 10 after 6 in the morning, slimed his way into her bed. She moved into her sister's room, waited for her sister. I heard her singing. Sister came. The girls were talking. Finally, ShaMay said, I'm tired. I've been up all night with the baby, which is true. She's not lying about that one. Because that was Amari's first real cold. Right? And then Tisha goes, has her smoke, and then she goes back down the hall into her room to watch the baby now. And ShaMay goes into the living room, sits down. This is around 8 o'clock or so, people. Around 8 o'clock or so. Does her Snapchat. One of her friends see the Snapchat as she's waking up, saying, oh yeah, ShaMay looks good. She just looks tired. Right? Said she was up all night looking after the baby. Right? And in that Snapchat, she's wearing a black shirt, people. All right? She's not going to change her shirt before she lays down on the couch. Okay? Because something happened to her soon after 8 o'clock or so. Around 8:30 or whatever it was. Tisha and I were going to do a video, and we're going to show you. It's going to take a week or two to do this video. I've already talked to Tisha about it. We're going to take it down into the basement. And we're going to set it up to the way it was on the day ShaMay died. Basically, minus the futon, but we can pretend that we have something there. We'll put something there to pretend like it was, that's where the futon would have been. And we're going to role play how easy it is for somebody to have snuck up behind ShaMay and hot-capped her. Not afraid to say it on YouTube. People, I'm going to take this shit out on the fucking streets. Okay, once I put it all together, I'm going to go out in the streets and I'm going to educate people as to what the hell is going on in this province. Okay? So let's stay focused on what I'm doing here because I don't want to drag this out. I wanted to keep this video short. I just want you to, when you look at what's coming up, look at the whites of her eyes. They're not bloodshot for somebody that's been up all night. Especially somebody that was up all night doing drugs. You have to remember, well, maybe you don't remember, maybe I didn't really talk about it much, but the last time I spoke to the coroner, this is what they told me. They said that what ShaMay had in her system in terms of fentanyl was the amount that they would monitor in a hospital. Versus she got one big bang and poof, she was gone. Right? You're sitting there, somebody comes up, does something behind you, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds later, you're dead. Apparently not under the coroner's report, because they said that the fentanyl that was in her system was something that would have been monitored in a hospital setting. Which I find highly unlikely, people. I do. That's like getting urine out of a body that already urinated. Right? After it died. I mean, you can get a little something, maybe, way up in the bladder. But once those muscles release themselves, that's it. And ShaMay died sitting up. So the law of gravity is going to pull it out of her, people. So where did they get this urine from? At the hospital after they transported her dead body that had been dead for an hour and a half before the paramedics made it look like they started her heart. Because it's impossible to start a heart, people, once it's been gone for over 30 minutes or more. A few minutes, really. 10 minutes. That's why they can't transplant the heart from a cadaver. They can only take out the valves of the heart. They can only use the valves. They can't use the actual heart itself. The actual heart itself has to come from a living donor, basically. So anyway, her eyes are clear, right? At one point, when she rolls her eyes up into her head, because she's tired, right? You have to remember too, people, she wasn't feeling very well. Right? But I didn't want to coddle ShaMay. You know, I said, your baby, welcome to your first cold. If you really need me, you know where I am. However, I should have sensed that she didn't want to go downstairs because she was afraid. Afraid of who might come by. Because prior to that morning that she died, about a week or so, I was sleeping. I mentioned this on another video. And the phone was ringing. It woke me up. I heard banging on the wall. Boom, 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 boom. The phone was ringing. I got up. I listened. The phone stopped ringing. The banging on the wall stopped. I didn't hear no hollering or screaming. I knew my son was downstairs, so if it was real bad, he would have interjected. Everything stopped, so I didn't go and investigate. The next day I seen ShaMay. She didn't say anything, and I don't know, I didn't ask. I didn't ask, maybe because I wasn't thinking about it. Maybe I thought if it was real bad, she would tell me. But anyway, something happened. Something bad happened. And she kept it to herself. And a week or so later, she died. So, the point of this video is to look at her eyes, understand that her sister left her at 8 o'clock after Tisha had a smoke in the kitchen, went back to Tisha's bedroom to look after the baby, where ShaMay had been since 6 o'clock when that phone call came in. Because at 6:30 or whatever it was, when I was converting over that video, I heard ShaMay singing to the baby. So she wasn't in her own room, people. When Tisha got home, ShaMay was in Tisha's room, and the girls talked for an hour. After Tisha had her smoke, ShaMay went into the living room. She had on a black shirt, sat down, had a smoke before she was going to go to sleep. Did it Snapchat. Her last Snapchat is what you're going to see. I have zoomed in on her eyes to determine whether she was stoned or not. And they're very, very clear. I tried to narrow down her pupils, which near the end of the video, you can see them if you pay attention. Now you have to remember, this is in the basement with just, a little light on top, right? So it's not real bright because it's a basement. But her her pupils, I have narrowed it down where you can pretty much see the general outline of the pupil in terms of they weren't like pinheads as if you were stoned on coke or whatever. Fentanyl, who knows? As if they were giving it to you in a hospital setting. The thing about fentanyl in a hospital setting, I have ShaMay's medical records. When they had her hooked up to all those machines and shit, people, they supposedly were giving her fentanyl at regular intervals. So it's something that has to be done regularly, right? So I don't know when she found the time to regularly take fentanyl and be functional at the same time. Just like I don't know how they got urine out of a body that had already urinated after it died. And then it sat there for an hour and a half before supposedly her heart was started again. So near the end of the video, if you look at the pupils, that's what I'm trying to, that's as close as I can get with the editor that I have. You can clearly see that the pupil is not like a pinhead, right? It's adjusting to the light in terms of being in a basement with just 2 light bulbs or 1 light bulb. I don't know if it's 1 or 2, probably just 1. They don't like it real bright down there with 2 light bulbs burning at one time in the living room. And her eyes are very, very clear in terms of white. The white part of her eye is very, very clear. And yeah, I have to put this, I have to say this so you understand what you're looking at.
So my son is sick for the first time. He's 7 months and he's never had a cold or any fever, but just yesterday he started getting a runny nose, and now he's coughing and he's sneezing so much, and on top of that he's teething. So like he's not really sleeping right now. He's really fussy, and I'm so tired, but I'm so glad my sister's home to watch him for me now, so I can get a little bit of sleep. But my poor baby, I hate seeing him like that, but I am so happy that I get to take care of him. So my son is sick for the first time. He's 7 months and he's never had a cold or any fever, but just yesterday he started getting a runny nose, and now he's coughing and he's sneezing so much, and on top of that he's teething. So like he's not really sleeping right now. He's really fussy, and I'm so tired, but I'm so glad my sister's home to watch him for me now, so I can get a little bit of sleep. But my poor baby, I hate seeing him like that, but I am so happy that I get to take care of him.